There's a 3-row SUV sitting on a dealer lot right now, brand new, sticker in the window somewhere north of 50 grand, and according to the largest owner survey in the country, it is statistically the least reliable new vehicle you can buy in America. Not one of the worst. The worst. And here's the part that gets me. It looks fantastic. Big screen, quiet cabin, chrome badge, monthly payment that fits your budget if you squint. Nothing about it tells you that owners are reporting transmission fluid on their garage floors and engines losing oil pressure before the first oil change is even due. One owner had the engine replaced under warranty at 3,500 miles. 3,500. I've had pairs of boots that lasted longer than that engine. Every December, Consumer Reports dumps the data from about 380,000 real vehicles, owned by real people who filled out real surveys about what actually broke. 20 trouble areas, everything from squeaky brakes to dead transmissions to battery packs that need replacing. It's the closest thing we have to the truth, because it doesn't come from a press release or a paid review. It comes from the poor guy who bought the thing. And when the latest numbers came out for 2026, 5 SUVs stood out. 5 machines you are going to be pushed toward hard this year with incentives and financing and shiny commercials that the actual ownership data says to walk away from. By the end of this, you'll know all 5. You'll know exactly what breaks on each one and why it breaks. The actual engineering reason, not just the complaint, and you'll be able to spot the pattern behind all of them, because there is one. And once you see it, you can apply it to any vehicle for the rest of your life. And stick around for number 1, because number 1 isn't some obscure badge nobody buys. It's a household name, wearing a reputation it did not earn, and that's the part that should genuinely bother you. Let me show you what's really going on first, because these 5 aren't random. Almost every vehicle on this list is either brand new, freshly redesigned, or carrying a brand new powertrain that nobody had ever built before. That's not a coincidence. That's the whole story. The survey people said it themselves when they published the data. Slow, steady, boring redesigns produce reliable cars. Aggressive redesigns and brand new technology produce problems. Every single time. The first model year of anything new is the year the customer becomes the test fleet. You pay full price for the privilege of finding the bugs. The old mechanics knew this 50 years ago. Never buy the first year of anything. The advice hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is how expensive it's gotten to ignore it. So keep that thread in your hand as we go through these, because you're going to see it stitched through every single one. Number 5. The Honda Prologue. I know. A Honda, on a list like this. That badge has meant 300,000 miles of boring dependability for 40 years, and that's exactly why this one is dangerous. Because here's what the sales guy is not going to lead with. The Prologue is not really a Honda. It's built on General Motors' Ultium electric platform. The battery is GM. The motors are GM. The core electronics are GM. It's even assembled in a GM plant in Mexico, running down the line alongside its mechanical twin, the Chevy Blazer EV. Honda styled the body, tuned the suspension, put an H on the nose, and called it a day. So when you buy a Prologue expecting Honda engineering, you're buying a reputation that was earned by engines this vehicle does not have. And the survey data shows it. Owners are reporting problems with the one part of an electric vehicle you absolutely cannot afford to have problems with. The battery pack. Some of them needed full replacement. Out of warranty, a pack like that is a 5-figure bill. It can total the car on paper. On top of that, charging faults, climate system trouble, drive system complaints, electrical accessories acting up, and screens that freeze, which in a modern EV is not a small annoyance, because the screen is how you control half the vehicle. And I want you to understand why the borrowed platform matters mechanically, not just as a talking point. A vehicle isn't one machine. It's 10,000 parts negotiating with each other, and reliability comes from a company living with the same architecture long enough to find every weak negotiation and fix it. Honda's reputation was built exactly that way. The same basic engine families, refined and refined and refined, decade over decade, until there was nothing left to go wrong. The Prologue gets none of that inheritance. Its battery chemistry, its power electronics, its charging brain, its body computers. All of it comes from a platform that was barely 2 years old when this vehicle launched, from a different company. And that platform's early record includes screens going dark and charging systems throwing faults across multiple models wearing multiple badges. Honda tuning the dampers doesn't touch any of that. Here's the practical application. If you already own one, keep it under warranty coverage like your finances depend on it, because they do. Document every charging hiccup, every frozen screen, every warning light, in writing, at the dealer, so there's a paper trail if the pack ever needs work. If you're shopping and you love what the Prologue offers, the size, the ride, the look, at minimum wait for the later model years when GM and Honda have had time to chase the gremlins out on somebody else's dime. And if what you actually wanted was Honda dependability, then buy the machine that earned it. The hybrids Honda engineers itself, top to bottom, in-house, on powertrains they've been perfecting since before some of you had a license. None of this means Honda forgot how to build cars. But a badge is not a warranty on the engineering underneath it, and the Prologue is first-generation borrowed hardware wearing a trusted name. That's the first-year trap with a disguise on. This one, the data says leave on the lot. Number 4. The Kia EV9. On paper, this thing is genuinely impressive, and I'll say that with a straight face. 3 rows, real space, an 800-volt electrical architecture that can charge faster than almost anything at its price. The engineers who built it were not lazy, and they were not stupid. This is ambitious hardware. But ambitious and proven are two different words, and the owner data on the EV9 reads like a first-year textbook, because that's what it is. The trouble concentrates in the worst possible place, the battery pack itself. Owners have reported individual cell groups inside the pack failing and needing replacement. Now, replacing cells in a pack is not like swapping a car battery at the parts store. The pack is a structural, sealed, high-voltage assembly bolted into the floor of the vehicle. When cells go bad, the vehicle sits at the dealer, sometimes for weeks, waiting on parts, waiting on a tech certified to open a high-voltage pack, waiting on the manufacturer to approve the repair. Add to that the reported charging problems and the body hardware issues and the electrical accessories and the in-car electronics complaints, and you've got a very expensive vehicle spending a lot of its young life on a lift instead of in your driveway. And here's the mechanism underneath it, because this is worth 2 minutes of your life. A big EV pack is hundreds of individual cells wired into modules, and every cell has to stay within a whisker of its neighbors. Same voltage, same temperature, same state of charge. There's a whole management computer whose only job is refereeing that, constantly shuffling tiny amounts of energy around to keep the family even. When one cell group drifts or degrades faster than the rest, the whole pack gets limited to protect it. Your range drops, your charging slows, warning lights come on, and the fix means opening the sealed pack. That's why an EV battery problem is never a small problem. It's not a part, it's the foundation of the house. Now layer the 800-volt system on top. That higher voltage is what lets the EV9 charge so fast, and it's real engineering. But it means every component handling that power, every contactor, every converter, every charging control unit is working at a level the industry has only been mass-producing for a handful of years. Related vehicles on this same family of hardware have already been through recalls and repair campaigns on their charging control units. The technology is genuinely advanced. It is also genuinely young, and young and advanced is exactly the combination that puts vehicles on lifts. Practical side, if you're set on an EV9, buy it certified with the full battery warranty intact and confirm, in writing, how many years and miles that pack coverage runs, because that warranty is worth more than any option package on the sheet. Better yet, give the platform time. In 5 years, this thing will probably be sorted and the used ones will be a smart buy, because depreciation on a troubled first-generation EV is brutal and works entirely in the second owner's favor. But you don't get paid to do the sorting. You pay 60+ grand, the way most people option these, to be the test fleet. Same thread, second stitch. Number 3. The Chevrolet Blazer EV. This one earned its spot the hard way, and the story is worth 30 seconds because it tells you everything about how modern vehicles fail. The Blazer EV launched at the end of 2023 as the great mass-market hope of GM's electric lineup. Within weeks, the software was falling apart in the field. Review cars had their entire screens go blank and unusable. One journalist got stranded mid-road trip when the thing threw charging faults and demanded immediate service. It got bad enough that GM did something automakers hate more than almost anything. They issued a voluntary stop sale on a brand new flagship in December 2023 and pulled it off the market while they rewrote the software. It came back a few months later, patched. Now, credit where it's due. The patch fixed the launch disaster, but the latest owner survey shows the Blazer EVs still sitting near the bottom of the entire industry. Battery malfunctions, battery cooling problems, significant climate system trouble, screens still freezing or going blank. And here's my favorite, because it's so perfectly modern: widespread failures of the 12-volt battery. That's right, a cutting-edge electric vehicle with a giant high-voltage pack in the floor getting stranded by the same little battery your grandfather's pickup had. Because even in an EV, that little 12-volt runs the computers, and when the software managing it has bugs, it drains, and a dead 12-volt bricks the whole vehicle. You can be sitting on 80 kilowatt-hours of energy and unable to unlock your own car. Let me stay on that 12-volt thing for a second, because it's the most instructive failure on this whole list. In the old days, the small battery had one job: crank the engine. Simple. Today, that little battery is the life support for 40, 50, sometimes 100 separate computer modules. The locks, the screens, the network that lets the big pack even connect itself to the car. Those modules are supposed to go to sleep when you park. When the software has bugs, some module stays awake all night, sipping away, and by morning the 12-volt is flat and every system in the vehicle is offline. The owners reporting these failures over and over aren't buying bad batteries. They're buying a symptom of software that hasn't learned to go to sleep properly. And the dealer's fix is often a new battery and a software update and a let us know if it happens again, which it does, because you can't parts cannon your way out of a code problem. So here's how to apply this one. If you're cross-shopping electric SUVs, put software maturity on your checklist right next to range and price, because it will affect your daily life more than either. Ask the forums, not the brochure. How often do owners report bricked mornings, frozen screens, failed updates? A vehicle that's been on sale 3 or 4 years with a stable software record is worth real money over a fresh launch with a longer range number. And if you own a Blazer EV now, keep it updated every time. And if you get repeat 12-volt failures, document each one, because repeated warranty visits for the same fault is exactly the paper trail that consumer protection laws are built on. That's the pattern in miniature. The failure isn't a rod through the block anymore. It's code, and you can't fix code in your driveway with a wrench. Third stitch. Number 2. The Mazda CX-90. And I'm including the plug-in hybrid version in this one, because they both landed on the least reliable list independently. 1 nameplate, 2 entries. That takes effort. And this one honestly hurts because I like what Mazda tried to do. They went and built something no accountant would approve anymore. A brand new longitudinal inline-6, rear-drive biased platform, like a BMW for regular money. The 3.3-liter Turbo 6 itself is a genuinely sweet piece of engineering. But they made one decision that's biting owners hard, and it's the perfect example of clever versus proven. That new 8-speed automatic behind every CX-90, Mazda designed it in-house and they deleted the torque converter. In its place, an electric motor and a wet multi-plate clutch pack. Forget the jargon. Here's what that means. A torque converter is a fluid coupling. It slips on purpose smoothly every time you pull away from a stop, and it's been quietly doing that dirty job for 70 years. Mazda replaced it with a clutch, a friction device, a wear item, and asked it to launch a 5,000-pound SUV from every stoplight, every parking lot, every trailer pull. The valve body, the hydraulic brain that controls all of it, has to be perfect for that to feel right. And the owner reports tell you it often isn't. Rough, jerky, low-speed behavior, crunching from first to second, vehicles locking in gear and needing a pullover and restart to free up. On top of that, the survey logs major engine and transmission trouble, steering problems, brakes, keyless entry failures. The plug-in hybrid stacks its own battery and electric motor faults on top. One owner's car stalled and died within a week of purchase, and Mazda kept it 31 days while they wrote new software for it. 31 days. On a brand new car. Why did they do it? Fuel economy and feel, mostly. A torque converter always wastes a little energy in that fluid slip, and a locked clutch doesn't. So on paper, the clutch design is more efficient and more direct. The engineers weren't wrong about the physics, but the old mechanics had a saying that applies here. The torque converter forgives and the clutch remembers. Every rough launch, every trailer, every stop-and-go commute in August heat gets written into that clutch pack's friction material, and unlike a converter, it doesn't heal. It wears. 70 years of the industry defaulting to torquey converters wasn't laziness. It was 70 years of learning, the hard way, that a fluid coupling is the most forgiving way ever devised to connect an engine to a heavy vehicle. Mazda bet they could out-engineer that history on the first try. In-house, on their very first attempt at this transmission type, under their most powerful engine, in their heaviest vehicle. The owner surveys are the scorecard on that bet, and right now it's not going Mazda's way. If you already own one, two things matter. Drive it gently from stops. That clutch's lifespan is written by launches, and smooth feet are free. And take the fluid seriously. This transmission demands a specific fluid and precise service, whatever the maintenance schedule optimistically claims about it being sealed. If you're shopping and you want that gorgeous inline-six experience, and I get it, I truly do, then wait. Let Mazda iterate. The company has a real history of fixing its mistakes properly, and the second or third year of a sorted CX-90 might genuinely be a great machine. Beautiful concept. Unproven execution, sold at full price. Fourth stitch, and it's the clearest one on the list. The problem isn't ambition, it's asking you to fund the shakedown cruise. And number 1, the GMC Acadia. According to the data, the single least reliable new vehicle sold in America. The Acadia got a full redesign for 2024. Bigger body, nicer cabin, and under the hood, the proven V6 was thrown out for a brand new turbocharged 2.5-liter four-cylinder making 328 horsepower. Read that again. 328 horsepower from 2.5 liters, hauling a full-size 3-row family bus. That is a small engine working extremely hard, boosted hard, in its very first year of existence, in a vehicle line that already had a rough transmission history. The previous generation was recalled because transmissions were built with an incorrectly installed sun gear that could let a half-shaft disengage and leave you with no drive at all in traffic. Let's talk about why a small turbo engine in a big vehicle is a durability question, because this applies way beyond the Acadia. Horsepower is just work per unit time, and when you ask 2.5 liters to do the work 6 cylinders used to do, the turbo has to stuff the cylinders with far more air, which means far more pressure and far more heat, concentrated in a smaller lump of metal. Every pound of boost is stress on the head gasket, the pistons, the bearings, the oiling system. Engineers can absolutely build a small turbo engine to survive that. The good ones prove it every day, but it takes margins, stronger internals, better cooling, generous oiling, and years of validation. Margins cost money and validation cost time, and a first-year engine in a cost-conscious family SUV is exactly where both get squeezed. When an owner reports oil pressure vanishing on the highway at 3,500 miles, that's not a fluke complaint. That's the sound of a margin that wasn't there. And the new one? Owners are reporting major and minor transmission trouble, including fluid leaks, which on a modern sealed-for-life transmission, you're not even supposed to be able to check without special tools. Brake problems, electrical accessories failing, infotainment acting up, and the report that stopped me cold. An owner cruising the highway at about 3,500 miles when the engine lost oil pressure with no visible leak. Towed to a dealer out of state. GM replaced the entire engine under warranty. On a vehicle that new, that's not bad luck. That's a machine that left the factory before anyone was sure it was finished. Even the survey's own test car couldn't crack 21 miles per gallon combined, so you don't even get the efficiency the downsized engine was supposed to buy. All the risk, none of the reward. And there was even a quiet customer satisfaction program on early ones for a misassembled transmission turbine shaft seal. The kind of notice that never makes the evening news but tells you exactly how the launch went on the factory floor. If a big 3-row is what your family genuinely needs, the same survey that buried the Acadia will hand you the answer for free. The boring, long-running, Barely change three-row hybrids from the brands that redesign nothing in a hurry sit at the top of the reliability charts year after year, cost about the same money, and use half the fuel doing it. You give up a little flash, you get back your Saturdays. Fifth stitch, and the thread's complete. New body, new engine, new everything. First year, your money. Now here's the part that actually matters, because you might be asking the obvious question. If the data is this clear, and it's publicly available, it's not a secret, why are these 5 vehicles still being advertised, financed, and moved off lots by the thousands? Because there's no money in telling you to wait. Follow it through. The manufacturer has spent billions developing that new platform, and the accounting only works if it sells now in year 1, bugs and all. The dealership makes its real margin on the new hot product and the financing attached to it. And here's the quiet part. The service department makes money on every one of those warranty repairs too, because the manufacturer pays the labor. A vehicle that comes back 6 times in the first year is not a tragedy for a dealership. It's throughput. The extended warranty they'll offer you at the finance desk, that product only exists because everyone at that table already knows what the reliability data says. They're selling you insurance against the very risk they just talked you into. Nobody in that building is evil. That's what I want you to get. There's no smoky room. There's just a system where every single person between the factory and your driveway gets paid when you buy new and unproven, and nobody, not one person in the chain, gets paid when you buy boring and proven or when you wait 2 years for the bugs to get sorted. The knowledge that would save you 20 grand in depreciation and a year of service visits has no salesman. It never has. The old-timers passed it down for free. Never the first year, never the new engine, let the other guy find the problems. And it stopped getting passed down about the same time cars stopped being something a family taught each other to understand. And that's the bigger thing sitting under all of this. Every machine on this list fails in ways you're not allowed to touch. Sealed transmissions with no dipstick. Battery packs only a certified tech can open. Failures that live in software, patched from a server you'll never see. I'm not saying the old stuff was better in every way. It wasn't. It rusted, and it drank fuel, and it needed points and plugs. But when it broke, you could open the hood, and the truth was right there, and a person of ordinary intelligence with a Saturday and a manual could find it. There's a quiet kind of dignity in that, and we traded it away one convenience at a time. Understanding your machine used to be normal. Now it's a specialty. The least you can do, the very least, is understand it before you sign for it. That part they can't seal shut. So here's what I want you to take away. First, the 5. The Honda Prologue, the Kia EV9, the Chevrolet Blazer EV, the Mazda CX-90 in both flavors, and the GMC Acadia. The worst of them all by the numbers. Second, the rule that connects them, because the rule outlives the list. Never buy the first model year of a redesign, a new platform, or a brand new powertrain. Give any new machine 2 to 3 years on the road before your money touches it. The data backs this up relentlessly. The same survey that condemned these 5 put the most boring, slowly evolved, barely changed vehicles at the top, year after year after year. Third, do the 5-minute check before you ever set foot on a lot. Look up the actual owner-reported reliability, not the professional first drive review. The review tells you how it feels for a week, the survey tells you what it does for 3 years. And if you need a 3-row family hauler right now, the proven, unexciting hybrid from the brand that changes nothing dramatic will cost you less, hold its value better, and let you forget where the dealership is. Boring is a feature. Boring is the feature. And here's the payoff. 6 months from now, you're standing on that lot and the salesman is walking you toward the newest thing on the floor, the redesigned one, the one with the brand new engine, and something in the back of your head just quietly says, "First year, test fleet, not with my money." And you walk past it to the dull one that's been sorted for 4 years, and you drive it for a decade and change the oil and think about it exactly never. That moment is worth more than anything on this channel. Now I want to hear from you, because the comment section on videos like this is always better than the video. Tell me down below, what's the worst first-year vehicle you ever owned? The one that taught you this lesson the expensive way. Give me the year, the model, and what let go first. And if you're one of the people who owns something on today's list and it's been flawless, I want to hear that too, because that's how honest data works. The survey speaks in averages, and your driveway speaks in specifics. Tell me where you're from and what you're driving. I read every single one of these, and I'll be straight with you. Those comments are half the reason I keep making these. If this saved you from an expensive mistake, subscribe, because next time we're flipping the coin, the small handful of engines being built right now that the data says will genuinely go 300,000 miles. And one of them is hiding in the cheapest vehicle in its class, which almost nobody believes until they see the numbers. You'll want that one before you buy anything. Until then, keep your oil changed, keep your skepticism sharper, and let the other guy buy the first year.